Wait, did they take the Evo orderly? Is that what you talking about?
No, we didn't take it. And we're not going to heal him. I'd rather him kill himself. He's gonna do that. Fuck him. It's certainly not worth my life, or my character's life. If we only got the 10,000 forwarded to us, the bunny can die in a fire. The end.
He's gonna heal all his stun... yeah, he's gonna heal all his stun damage before he gets a chance to even start healing physical damage, so I just took that off.
Dan.
Do not be alarmed.
I'm alarmed.
Well then, when are you going to make this next stab at Pope in his brain? Is it going to be same day?
Let's see here. No, I mean, we made our trek there. We were at nightfall. We brought him back, or like roughly around like 2 a.m. whenever I made the second mind probe test. My character's gonna have to sleep at some point, which is what he's going to do. So I guess we're technically on Friday the 22nd right now. I'm gonna wait another 6 hours before I attempt the test, and I'm not sleeping here. I don't want to. If he dies while I'm gone, then he dies while I'm gone. And if he escapes while I'm gone without using magic and being as bound as he is, then really he deserves to escape.
Congratulations, buddy. You made it out.
Yeah, he's a winner. And we'll just take our 10,000 and say, oh well, big Mr. Johnson. I'm not making another test for another 6 hours at least, so I don't incur an additional dice pool penalty. I'm gonna go home and cry and wonder why I'm not a phoenix, and then I'll come back.
I guess Vice will stay the night, or however long it takes to get Crusader back. He'll call his mother and tell him he'll be out tonight, and that she should, take care of her things.
He does not wake up while you're gone.
He doesn't have any overflow left, though.
Yep, he's down to just his damage.
Say, if he gets a test to heal at body times 2, then I would as well, I would think.
Yep, go ahead and roll that.
How many times on a test? One day the character was from the crowd. I have a body of 3. Click the token, you dumb son of a bitch. You can do it, Grimith. Hughes? Type that in there. 6 dice. I apparently it factored in my wound penalty. I forgot to do that.
You should probably just roll 1 extra dice.
Okay, well, just 1 then. Alright. That is... well, it's a thing. Hooray! I still have a wound penalty. God damn it. Okay. Now, I'll try this again. It's another day. It's an exciting day. I have a wound penalty of 1, so I will be missing a die. I'll only be rolling 12 dice. Do I want to do this at 4-7 again? I think we'll try a 4-7 again. Alright, luck. Luck. I'm very lucky. I'm a lucky person. I have faith in you. 5 dice. That takes it down to 2 net hits. I get his surface thoughts again. 2 is 3, plus 2 is 5. God damn it.
Well then, in his dreams, you'll get one more piece of information that's worth noting. I may have closed something that... Did I? Oh shit.
What?
Whatever it was, I hope it wasn't important. I just hit a random button and I don't know what it did, but my screen flashed.
That is a great thing. That's a great thing.
You'll get one more piece of information from his surface thoughts as you're just sort of peering in on them, and while he sleeps, not quite restfully, you'll get an address. Not quite an address, more like a location, but you can place it. You'll get the sense of, it's more of a memory that he's reliving in his sleep of him with his hoodie up and his face tucked in and everything sort of just jammed into his hoodie so no one can see him. Fairly recent. And he's looking around downtown, and you know where it is, downtown LA, and it's sometime after the twins. You notice some things. It's probably within the last year or two, and you'll be able to pinpoint a bar. Him going into the bar and his mom being pissed at him for going in there. And then the dreams will fade off into the surreal with, again, carrots.
And fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
Did I see the name of the bar in these memories?
You didn't see the name of the bar, but you did see the location.
Okay. In that
It's
case...
enough that you'll be able to pull the address up with some finagling with, like, I know it's this street and this corner.
In that case, Trusair, after he channels his thoughts, tries to brutally force himself into the rabbit's head, and then is left gasping in pain and sort of slumps a bit, going prone on the ground as his arms go around his body because it hurts everywhere. Because he learned not to overcast, and now he's overcasting, and it hurts. And he's used all of his luck because he didn't want to get knocked unconscious earlier. Because he wanted to save someone from getting shot with machine gun fire. So here we are. He says, and he'll place a comlink call to the others, no matter where they are. I think I know the location of a bar that he remembered from his childhood. His mom was affiliated about it. She might hang out there as a dive, or it might be someplace that he's still affiliated with in some fashion. I think it's, And then he'll go through the process of trying to finagle out this location. Through the process of, like, it looked like this, only now it might look like, well, but then back then, yeah, over next to it there was this, it was after the twins, so you had this cool building.
How much longer do you think you can hold this up?
There's a downtown bar on the objects, and anyone that has knowledge of LA or anything like that can go ahead and roll me a knowledge check on that.
Hey, I have knowledge LA.
Well, go ahead and roll it.
I have area knowledge LA, and knowledge bars and clubs. Do they synergize at all, or should I just roll one of them, or both of them?
Go ahead and roll both of them separately. Well, Vice will know the bar you're talking about. It's on the map now. It's just a little downtown bar called Angels and Demons. And he'll be able to tell you that location's owned by some elf girl. Her last name is Maze.
Is it on the map?
I don't see shit, Captain.
I don't see a token there either. Do you still have it set to hidden by chance?
Not anymore, I don't.
I see it.
There you go.
And I think that's where we'll leave it off.
Okie dokie. Bunny Dude is still alive. Crusader's almost killing himself.
And Vice just told you that the bar you've learned of is owned by a woman named Maze.
He may or may not have in fact gone there before, Damina Johnson.
Or just to go watch the latest Urban Brawl match.
That's the one.
No, it's a high-class bar. It's not Urban Brawl.
He probably went there to meet a Johnson and was in and out in like 10 minutes.
Thank God the session's over so I can stop killing my character now.
I think your character has suffered as much damage as the Bunny Man? Nah.
No, not even really that close.
Okay. So, since the run's not over, we don't get any karma, correct?
Nope, you don't get karma yet.
Okie dokie. I'll see you guys next week.
And we haven't divided the cash up yet, of course.
Although, Sean, coming up on October 18th, that is a Friday, I have a job interview to go to, so I might be a little... That Saturday afterwards might be a little weird.
Okay.
I'm just telling you now, just in case things happen, okay? In case of shit, this is why. Shit doesn't happen. Okay. I thought it was fun,
Perfectly
actually.
fine.
I thought the session was pretty fun, though.
Yeah, fun.
I got to punch people. And not
Well,
just a woman
all
this time.
All of Truth Sayer's wounds are self-inflicted.
Yes. You know, I can self-inflict my own wounds in real life. I don't need to play a tabletop game in order to do that.
You don't need to play a tabletop game to be a career criminal either.
Hey, we're not criminals. Well,
Yeah, we are.
depends on whose definition of criminal you mean.
The presiding authority and rightful government of the region?
But if we're on corporate territory, the government really doesn't have authority over them?
Then
The corporation is a government. It's a socialized export state.
Okie dokie.
The session was fun. It was enjoyable. You should have just killed the bunny, dude. Gone to the other side. Would have been easier. Would have rather dealt with the spirit.
Probs. But hey, we learned some information?
Information you're going to have to act on without my character. I need days now to try to recover from what I've done to myself.
You can use the medkit that Vice has. Hmm? Did you... It cut out there for a minute because you might have said something that I didn't hear.
Need days. Days.
Okay, I understand now. So Sean, you've actually injured one of us. Congratulations.
It wasn't so much I was going for it as I was just surprised that it didn't happen at all. Period. Ever.
Well, it did. You know. Coyote brought along the comm link and it detonated on his thigh. It happened.
Hey, I mean, Twitch almost got bit by a dog.
I almost got shot
A
up
big,
by...
scary dog.
Vice almost got shot by a guy with a gun.
Yeah, but I almost got bit by a dog.
I had my thoughts controlled long enough to pull out my submachine gun that I would have never been able to hit anyone with.
I don't know, it's just an SUV. It's pretty small. I think you could have just sprayed everything in there and killed everyone.
That dog was growling.
Yeah, Coyote doesn't care about almost. He had one of his drones demolished, one of them kind of beat up, and the other one had to also beat up, but at least it still ran. And he got blown off his fucking Sea-Doo. He has had a bad day.
And at this point, he's pretty much got to be hoping that he at least breaks even with the amount of property damage he's had.
Yeah, that one drone that's a total write-off, to buy it new from Z, or, get it from Z, that would be, with the 15% added, about $5,500 to replace it the way it was. So,
I think
if they don't...
I think you getting the Jeep and the hover truck for free easily covers that cost.
Oh, I think so too. Yeah, Coyote is... I don't know. Stoked is the wrong word. He is definitely, it's ameliorated, but he was going to be very grumpy about it afterwards, for sure. But yeah, I'll have to get with Sean to figure out how much the repair costs and how long those drones will take. There are rolls that may or may not need to be made. I'm not sure what will happen there.
Well, at least no one shot down your eyeball.
You mean my he never took it out of space, so yeah, it's a very good.
Just saying, that would really ruin your day.
Yeah, at least he probably, if that happened, wouldn't have that much time to, feel bad about it.
Anyways, I'll see you guys later. I'm gonna I realized that around 4 o'clock, as the session was going on, I have nothing to eat in my room. So I have to go get food.
Yeah, I do as well. I knew I had no food in the house even when I got up this morning. So it's been a fun day.
Yep. So
I'm glad it was fun for you guys. Yes.
I'll see you next week, Grimith. Crip. Aaron.
Bye.
Yep.
Bye.
User disconnected from your channel.
God damn it. Fuck. I'm killing my character. We'll see how effective you bastards are when I'm no longer a part of this campaign.
Ha.
Didn't know what to do there. We could have gone to the other site. I could have handled the spirit better. I could just fling mana bolts at that astral space. And maybe those would have hit. Certainly would be better than overcasting a spell.
Plus, Stick and Shock works on manifested spirits. At least to some extent.
Right, if it's manifested. It doesn't have to be manifested.
Right.
As for the bunny dude himself, we weren't getting out of that situation without him waking up. I could have kept flinging stun balls at him until he died, but since we wanted him alive so that we could try to read his thoughts or try to turn him over to the Mr. Johnson, we would have still had a situation like what happened when he woke up, which I didn't want to happen.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like we need to get a bag of something that can put someone into a medically induced coma and an IV to deliver it. Just in case we need to take someone and keep them pacified for a long period of time again.
Facing a Force 12 spell was not exactly on the list of things I wanted to happen this session.
Bullshit, you loved it.
Credit, he only got one overall hit on me with all of his penalties, and he ended up putting himself into death.
I'll go ahead and tell you that that was halfway intentional. Because you've been probing his mind for a while, you probably figured that out. He was more than willing and hoping that it would kill him.
Yeah, that's understandable. My, I didn't know what type of character this bunny rabbit was until, he did that and then in his head, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Now that my character understands who this person is, and that he is perfectly willing to sacrifice himself if it means killing everyone he hates, which is almost everyone, then giving him that opportunity was not only smart, it was not on the list of best decisions Truesayer's ever made.
Actually, while I still have you here, Truesayer's the only one that needs to roll this. Can I get, what is it? 10 dice from him. I'm gonna assume that you look up some information on the maze that owns the place, so I'll give you the basics right now, and I'll go ahead and drop that in Skype too, so that you can look at it over the week.
10 dice, you say?
Yes.
10 dice as requested. There you go. 3 hits. That seems to be my fucking standard.
Well, that'll be... I'll go ahead and say that's enough. You'll recognize one individual.
I love how Sean just, you could feel him, keep trying to throw us things alright, fine. He does more than likes carrots. Alright, fine. That's enough. You barely passed the threshold. Pity information, like a pity fuck.
No, I'm just sort of... I actually could have very well given you a lot more information from the start. It's more of... I don't want to give too much from the very beginning. Otherwise, there's no struggle in trying to get all the information. I mean, I could have given you any number of things he could have dreamed about, and if you sat there for hours, I mean, think about your dreams when you're unconscious because you just got electrocuted repeatedly, and then mind screwed yourself. That one's harder to imagine. But there'll be 2 individuals that you'll get information about. The owner of the bar, Vice, will be able to tell you who that is, and her daughter.
Alright, I gotta go now too.
Okay.
Owner of the bar and her
User
daughter.
disconnected from your channel.
Alright, that's a thing.
The daughter will be the girl that you saw with the flamethrower.
Oh, okay.
I'll dig out the links for their dossier things and send them along. It won't be the same picture, but the daughter will be the girl that had the flamethrower.
Be the first elf who changed her appearances in this campaign.
Well, I mean, I don't know how to do that. What do I do for that? There's people, and I don't know if you're gonna recognize them or not, and that's sort of point of plot is, do you know who they are?
Who anyone is in this campaign universe. I don't know. I don't
True.
recognize photos.
True, but if I have like the token like with the with like a portrait attached and everything, you're automatically like, okay, they're important. And that was why I chose with the elf in the beginning 8 to have just a sort of generic token for her, a cheap looking one.
Cheap looking? I mean, she looked the same as any other token, only we didn't see a stat block for her when we moused over her. I mean, that's all. You could just treat all the tokens the same way, one way or the other.
True. I guess I could.
It's so that they have the same picture if you want. Instead of changing their pictures. I don't know.
Close enough. Whatever. Well...
Are there any other things I need to roll for, like roll to not choke slam the mundanes I'm teamed with? Roll to not throw myself off a cliff after all I've done?
Well, no, I think Truthsayer will manage to hold himself onto the cliff.
Yeah, but the more I'm thinking about it, like, why didn't we just go after the fucking spirit? I could have flung mana bolts at it. This would have been so much easier.
Well, with spirit, you've also got to worry someone has to have summoned that spirit.
That's the problem. That's why I didn't want to go there. Even though the spirit was
Probably that
weird.
freaking cat. Yeah, it's probably that cat mage, I'm guessing, but who knows. Anyway, I'm heading out the door too. I'll see y'all next week.
Okay, bye.
Also, I gotta say, Sean, that fucking...
User disconnected from your
The
channel.
damn portrait for the cat mage. I was like, I'm not even homosexual and I still want to swoon over that thing. What the hell?
Well, I mean, if you're gonna have villains, there's 2 routes to go. Ugly and pretty. For that one, it made sense for pretty. For the bunny, well, it depends on what exactly you enjoy.
I mean, I saw the picture you'd chosen for the token, and I was like, wow, he is definitely pretty. I don't think handsome is the right word here. He is pretty.
I will have to admit, I have had some fun with picking the token portraits and things. I have actually, I think, 150 tokens sort of saved up by now.
Dear Lord, man. This isn't Vampire the Masquerade, but you still have a massive cast of just random things.
I have portraits for everyone and everything.
So, I'm glad you managed to find enough, modern tokens. Oh, by the way, Y Caliber asked me this last week. He wanted to know where you found the images for the various textures that you used that were, like, modern set. Since it's so hard to find, like, modern day textures. I told him, like, I don't know, I guess the same place I found the textures that I used for modern day Vampire the Masquerade. You just, like, Google top-down pictures and go from there.
Yeah, I like, for a lot of it, I've got one mapping thing that's sort of D&D, I don't even remember where I found it. It's just sort of a generic mapping bank of stuff, and I don't know where I pulled it from. I'd have to look that up, and I'd never find it again. And then for the rest, yeah, I actually just cut pictures. Like all the cars, I've cut those myself. All of that, I just cut it myself. I've got toilets that I cut out myself. Oh jeez, I got sinks that I cut out sinks and then got a faucet and cut out a faucet and attached the pictures.
I saw the work that you put onto the church map that you made.
Yeah, that's a whole different level. I tried to do that. I did that with like 5 textures that I found at the same time, and that was it. But with the other one, with this, I've actually started cutting the pictures for it.
How do you feel about the game mastering for Shadowrun 4th Edition thus far, Sean?
I've gotta say, I have less of a memorization of the rules than I thought I did. That would be the major thing that I should have seen going in. But other than that, it's been I'll have to say, because it's hard to give a good measurement of that. I'll have to give it in terms of when I was GMing D&D in high school. It's a whole different field from something like that. It's a whole different thing to actually have people that it's been actually fun to be on the same level with, sort of like the same wavelength with, and to be able to actually create a world. It's been something that I haven't had a chance to do with the stuff I've been trying to force out with my writing recently.
I've been a game master since the days of Dungeon and Dragon in high school.
Yeah, I haven't. This is the first game I've actually been a game master for in a decade. Give or take like a couple of one-session things here or there. But it's different years down the line.
Right. And as for the rules memorization itself, certainly we as players have not been able to help. I have had so much difficulty still trying to wrap my mind around the fact of how wireless the 2072 world is. It still fucks with my head. I feel like one of these old people in 2013. I was telling that to Jordan earlier. I can't process it.
No, that's actually sort of to be expected. It was actually one of the major complaints with SR4 is that the wireless rules are just sort of a mix of broken and incomprehensible. Because, especially with drones, because drones will roll one thing if they're doing their drone thing, another thing if they're being commanded with a command software, another thing if someone's jumped into them. And all of them will roll skills they'll roll autosofts for, and then they'll roll something else as another autosoft, and it just becomes the number of things, different words used for the same thing becomes just enormous.
I don't think it's a bad thing. In fact, I think Catalyst moved the right direction there, considering the prevalence of wireless shit and how it would make sense that the entire world is wireless. It's just sort of the process. You and Cripson got into it a few times in just this session about what he exactly rolls for particular situations, and I messaged Jordan and said, I'm looking at the chapter right now in the core rulebook, and I have no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah, the wireless rules were ones I half committed to memory, especially tried to half commit to memory, because I knew they were so convoluted. I had to read them a dozen times, and even then I'm still going back and constantly consulting the book because it's just so much stuff.
I think it's less intensive on my brain to cast magic than it is to use shit in the real world.
Yeah, that's magic. It's you roll your magic and your spell casting, maybe plus or minus a couple of things. With Matrix, it's you roll this for this, except unless you're doing this, and then you roll this. It's so many things to keep track of.
Response, because if you're running so many programs, what kind of autosoft are you using for the agent, the IC that is acting on your behalf? Fuck you.
Get it's actually what makes technomancers kind of cool, is because they can just go ahead and just have their programs set out as sort of spells, and then they roll their attributes plus it, or their skills plus it, and that's it. They don't have to worry about anything else. And if they ever need a some program, they just treat them all as the same thing to sort of write it on the fly. And you don't worry about what kind of program, it's just, I can write any program on the fly.
Their only problems is the fact that they have no biological data storage, so they have to transmit their information from their heads somehow, like if they want to store it somewhere.
Yeah, they have, I mean, just being a sort of walking half computer, you're just sort of walking the CPU and RAM, and that's it. And so it's sort of weird to do things like that. But so there are downsides, obviously, but in terms of like rules, and that's especially with I think I'm actually starting to go hoarse. With rules, it's they get a little bit of easiness in not having to worry about a bunch of things.
Although, in this situation, going where we did, a Technomancer would have had just as many problems, if not more, being in such a static dead zone, right?
They would have been taking a -1 to all actions, period, no exception, and they pretty much would have been useless. I mean, you didn't do anything dealing with the Matrix at all.
Then again, our characters haven't done a whole lot with Matrix stuff anyway. I've done some basic data searches on places, but I mean, that's it.
Yeah, I sort of took that into account with some of the things like this. I sort of realized I'm not going to need Matrix for it. Team will be just as good at doing either of this sort of running down here and doing this kind of stuff. There's no downside to it. Pretty much any time you go into any of the really dangerous areas, it's kind of funny. Matrix becomes less and less important unless it's something specifically Matrix oriented, because any of the dangerous areas, people with Matrix abilities don't go there.
Now, did this session end about where you thought it would, or did we take another crazy turn like we did with Chapter 1?
I'll have to say I did not expect you to actually grab the bunny guy, who I didn't even give him a name at first. That name I just sort of pulled out of my ass, which is why I forgot to tell you about it. I didn't expect you to grab him. I expected the information to be gotten from a different path and to be a little bit further along. So it's a different path than I thought you guys were going to take, but it's about roughly where I expected you to be, give or take, if that makes sense.
I suppose, reflecting just in the middle of the moment, I'm not sure how many more paths, at least with my character, since I'm more limited in what I can do. I keep trying to prod the others, like, if you got any sort of Matrix or tech shit you guys can do to find information, please do so.
Yeah, it's the path I thought was going to be more of a surveillance path. I thought that would be the main idea rather than nabbing someone and questioning them. It works just the same. I mean, you're in the same place I thought you would be. It's just, and I actually did prep for this time. It wasn't like I don't know where I am now sort of moment. I was like, okay, you did this rather than what I thought you were going to do. But so I was expecting it. It's just especially with combat, because combat always takes a little while. Any system, that's true. But with especially because still kind of a little bit rusty on the rules, it takes a little while to get through it. So it's a little bit further behind where I thought we're going to end up, but that's fine. That's rough. Same area. It's just a little bit slower than I thought it would be.
Because we actually ended up engaging in combat there, while outnumbered. Outnumbered, after all.
Oh, yeah, and if you thought you were outnumbered here, the island would be much, much worse. This was just a little outpost compared to what the island was.
Also figure that given the name Outpost, as in part of a bigger whole.
Yeah, did not expect you to manage to kill that many people. If you do ever assault the island, that'll be easier now.
Maybe what we'll do is we'll keep whittling down their numbers by continuing to look for more of their outposts.
I have to say, I did love oh, I forgot to have him roll for healing. I'll go ahead and do that. I just forgot Coyote got a healing test too. I was
Right.
only reminded that because I was gonna say I love the fact that left an explosive comlink in his pocket. That was, again, not something I was expecting, but something I did prep for.
Good. I mean, it could have been left in any sort of situation. You're like, is it on him? And we're like, no, definitely not. You're like, well, where is it? Like, well, it's like, I know they took it off of him because they talked about taking it off of him. Vice took it, handed it to Twitch, and then Twitch handed it to Coyote, and Coyote was like, I'll keep it, look at it later when we get back to the fan. And you're like, well, that's a thing.
I was trying to prod him into actually looking at it, maybe answering the call, but decided not to.
I mean, really, in the grand scheme of things, even if he picks it up, the thing still explodes on him, right? It just explodes on his face.
Holds it up to his ear and just blows up. Doesn't even wait, it's just... They were just calling so that he'd put it up to his face. No, I mean, you don't know now who was calling or why. There's no way to figure that out now.
But, hey, I wasn't the wheelman, so I didn't make the decisions regarding that. And I wouldn't have pressured Cripson into any decision regarding that. That's up to him. Up and said, your servant is dead and we're coming for you next. And then...
I mean, it's just a comlink. There's no way for someone to know what anyone was doing on the other side, right? Right?
Right? No. Well, you see, I don't know. I really couldn't give you a straight answer with that, because in the grim, dark future of 2072, I don't know what's possible.
You know you know everything about, probing people's minds, but you don't know how telephones work.
Yeah, pretty much. I can break someone's mind. Just give me enough time. My God. It is so hard to read someone's subconscious, Sean. I gotta get a bunch of hits. They gotta not roll high on their willpower. If they have counterspelling, then they need to be unconscious. It's like the game system doesn't want me to read people's minds.
I think both of those rolls were just below par too, were they?
I did get 5 hits on 12 dice, which is pretty good. But I mean, he rolls
Then
5 dice for...
hits.
Yeah, I mean,
he got 3 hits on that, so...
I mean, which was pretty good for him, too. For the first time, I only got 3 hits with 13 dice. And of course, the situation gets worse as I incur wound penalties. I didn't overall have a whole lot of luck with my rolls like I did with last session, when I'm like... Got my 9 perception here, my 7 perception here, another 7 perception. Very sad. Those 9 hits with the stun ball, but I mean, I'm glad I got those. They served it served its purpose. I did want to knock those people unconscious so they wouldn't shoot anyone else. It was just unexpected.
They rolled into physical damage from that. They rolled into 2 physical damage apiece, except for one of them.
I mean, that was a better result than expected. I was worried about them shooting another drone, or Vice, or Twitch, or Coyote, because he wasn't in perfect cover, and neither was my character either, since he was peeking his head out to stare at these things. So, I mean, you know, they obviously had light machine guns and could fire them. I wanted to take them out. I just wasn't expecting to do that with one single stun ball. That was definitely a thing. And I burned all my luck.
Yeah, probably the whole next session, you won't have any edge at all.
I mean, that's what happened in Chapter 2. I didn't have any luck. Because I burned it all. But on the flip side, I think it was worth it. I had to roll 20 dice on my negotiation skill test. Roll 10 hits.
Every time I see that, I'm still thrown.
I mean, you stared at the character sheet.
Where are all those dice?
I mean, you stared at the character sheet numerous times. Yep. I mean, I got my charisma. I mean, let's see here. Let me check here just to make sure. I got my 4 skill rating. I have 4 charisma, so that's 8 dice. I have +1 as a rating modifier from my positive quality that I picked, and I have 5 from the emotional software that I picked. And I built that custom comm link so that I could have it that high. And so that's 14 dice. And then I added the specialization of bargaining for 16. And then I used the edge, which gives me 4 dice. I only rolled 10 hits. That's only 50% success rate. And that was with my rule of 6 exploding dice. He only rolled 2 hits in return. I only had 8 hits above him.
Yeah, a lot of that is because the only reason you didn't get any real benefits from that is because, well, he can't give you any benefits from that.
Fine, I understand. I didn't think I'd be able to score big on everyone. It was just, I wasn't even going to try, but then he mentioned, like, oh man, it's so hard to find a team, you know, we've been looking around for people for a while that fit the right qualities, and I'm like, if he's going to mention his weaknesses like that, why not try to do something about it, like the devastated, depressed guy in Chapter 1, who's like, oh my god, my life is over. Is it? Enjoy haggling myself, but I don't enjoy casting spells either in real life.
Oh no, that's actually one of the things I enjoyed about some of my vacations to Mexico when I was younger. You actually get to haggle for things down there.
You're gonna tell me that you actually get to cast spells down in Mexico?
No, you don't get to. You also really don't get to in Shadowrun either, because, yeah, you think the magic's fucked up in LA.
I'm good, I don't want to go down to Aslan. I'll leave Tina Chitlin alone, I'm fantastic, thanks Sean. Think background 1 is bad, huh?
Yeah, to land, it's kind of, you start off as fucked, and that is the baseline, and it just gets worse from there.
Fantastic. Why are we in Los Angeles again?
Well, somebody's got to live here, right?
I thought all of the drones lived here, Sean. I didn't realize people should too.
It's Hollywood. I mean, it's the place to be. It is the place to be seen.
It's just what Horizon tells me.
And they can't be wrong, can they?
Yeah, this session taught me something else I realized that I wanted my character to have. Actually, it's a bad idea. I don't want my character to carry a set of mage cuffs with him, being a mage. It sounds like a terrible idea. Oops, I was out with a girl and she slapped them on me. This is a terrible idea.
It sounds like a funny idea. Just don't pick up anyone that think that's a good idea.
You can't know whether someone thinks it's a good idea just by looking at them.
Yeah, you can. You can.
Actually, I suppose my character can.
That's sort of one of your abilities.
I said that, and then it slowly dawned on me, but they would know that I'm probing them. Maybe they're not into that.
Then again, maybe they are.
Fetish for people who get off on having mages probe their minds. This sounds like a terrible idea.
Yeah, you've been on the internet. You know that there are probably people in the real world that are like that.
Yeah. I did like the part where the bunny busted out the Force 12 spell. That was a good part. I like that part.
It wasn't something I really was thinking about. It was like, what would this guy do at this point? Well, you said...
It's, like, quit fucking wasting my time. If you're gonna try something, you go all the way to take us both out. I was expecting like a stun ball or maybe like flamethrower or something.
Those would have been interesting, but that wasn't in his list of abilities.
Right. You know, you had him presented as more of like an emotional manipulator anyway, rather than the death dealer. But it's hard to tell just by looking at an awakened character. I don't know what their spell lists are.
Yep, I mean, just because even if you can tell someone's, even if you could tell what kind of mage they normally are, even if you could figure out their mentor and what abilities, they might have spells up their sleeves that aren't on their approved list of standard things they always do.
I'm glad I took a specialization in detection. It has so helped me this session.
Well, one thing you have to keep in mind is that that was both of those times it was you got a bad roll, he got decent roll. You got good roll, he got better roll.
Yep. And of course, you know, with his like spell casting things, I was interested to see what he would end up casting. Like, I could throw something at him like a mana bolt and stop this, but I don't want to kill him yet. Let's see how he responds. Force 12 control thoughts. Well.
I knew it basically, going from that perspective, I knew it either had to be all or nothing. Either it killed him, and that's a good thing for him, or it doesn't kill him, it really doesn't matter, or he wins and soaks the damage, and now you do whatever he says you do. And that would be hilarious.
I'm not so sure on the hilarious part because I would have been involved. But, you know, my character propositioned him. He asked for the best from an awakened character more powerful than him, conclusively.
He literally asked for it.
I mean, if Truesayer dies in that moment after having his thoughts manipulated, it's kind of like, well, this would be one of those situations where you did in fact ask for this to happen. What will you do? My problem was that I couldn't take my opponent seriously because he looked like a giant rabbit. Maybe that was Truesayer's problem too, I don't know.
I did take into account the fact that I could not take him seriously like that. But I mean, if you ended up looking like that, just sort of out of the blue, your face turned into that, I think that you would think everything should die too.
Not disagreeing with his life choices or how he's gotten to be who he is in life. I'm merely reflecting on the consequences of his attitudes. I think the proper term is that I sympathize with his plight. I just, you know, I understand. And I don't wish to do bad things to him. Truesayer's just trying to complete a job. He didn't want all those other people to die either. He just had 10 stun damage and he couldn't do anything about it.
Again, that was something I wasn't quite expect. Oh, whoops. That wasn't something I was quite preparing for, but it happened.
I mean, I know mechanically my character only has a -3 to his dice pool, so he's still, you know, capable and competent and can do things, and just really distracted. It's really fuzzy to him. And just, you know, if he wants to kill everyone, I mean, it's how his character would interpret it. It's, I think, quite frankly, how Aaron would interpret it. You know, we can go from there.
Nope, that is perfect. Legitimate way to see it. I mean, it's what they'll plan on doing anyways. They've already killed them all twice, from what the guy said.
I'm just saying, you know, as I said to Aaron, it's a good thing we don't have to make humanity rules in Shadowrun 4th edition.
Yeah, when that happened, for a moment there I was wondering, maybe this game should have a humanity system.
Because, like, you're killing these defenseless people, and doggies, too. Oh my god. You're shocking them to death with your hands.
Yeah, that is not a pleasant way to go.
It's peaceful, right? They're unconscious. You know, it's a shame that stun ball can overflow into physical damage, you know. It's supposed to be my protect people spell, not killing anyone, and yet I can kill people with stun ball. I don't think that's realistic.
Well, It's well, I mean, it's not like you really have to do something to overflow someone to the point of death with that. Like, you got ridiculous rolls on that as is, and you'd still only doing just a couple of damage. If you were to overcast it, say add another 8 damage, you'd even then just barely be filling up their damage track full.
Yeah, that's true. I don't want. That's the first time I overcast. Like the first 2 times, I don't want to overcast. I didn't want to do that. I couldn't think of a way to break his 5 dice of willpower in a reasonable manner. Like fuck. Especially since I'm like racing against the clock. Oh my god, he might wake up and kill himself at any minute, and I'm like, fucking heal him. They're like, no. I'm like, okay, yeah, you're right. It's probably a bad idea.
Well, maybe you guys can just sit down and have a nice, calm conversation about the whole thing.
No, I wanted to have one of those, and then he tried to magic me. Twice!
Yeah, I considered alternative abilities that he might use, but I thought that considering you called him out and his personality, I have at least a little bit noted down. Well, you call him out to do something big. He tried something big. He actually
Telling me. So what you're telling me is that he's easily impressionable.
Well, I mean, you called him out. He had to do something. If he had actually managed to, to soak those 2 last points of damage and stay awake, though, I'm pretty sure I don't have the book open. I'd have to double check, but I'm pretty sure he'd have 12 turns before you could even attempt to shake that off.
Yeah, something like, I don't know the exact spell either. I looked at it earlier. Something around, a good, maybe 15, 30, 45, 60 seconds. It wouldn't matter. You can do a lot in that amount of time.
Especially because he can order you to do magic.
That's just it. I mean, obviously he was caring nothing about the rewards for that, but he was foolish. And that he could have waited perhaps for a better opportunity to take advantage of that situation. And he was just so short-sighted, and perhaps he was just thinking about how he got shot in the dick with some with a gun from someone he couldn't see. You know, he just couldn't process, and apparently he's like a child on the playground. I called him out. He's like, fine, I'm gonna take this and go fuck with your head. And that happened. That's right, he could...
Part of that was I was thinking, well, I mean, I don't, from his perspective, don't know what's gonna happen, don't know if you're gonna put him through a meat grinder or something. It's gotta do something now while he still has, you know, hope of something. I mean, any moment you could just slap cuffs on him. You didn't put cuffs on him or anything like that. Could have gotten mage cuffs, and then he couldn't done much of anything.
That's fine, that's fine. I can't criticize his decision making, given his the condition that he was in, and it was gonna be high risk for him anyway. If that was the best opportunity he saw, then that was the best opportunity he saw. Truesayer is certainly not pleased about it, but then again, he goes back to the situation of, well, I did tell him to go big or go home. He went big. I didn't know he would go big. He's obviously insane. Maybe I need to study more about toxic mages.
He's a toxic mage. That's sort of a given that he's insane.
Didn't know he was insane enough to try Force 12. I can't even comprehend Force 12. That's above what I can overcast. As to the Draco Foundation, I'm collecting my 1 million Nuyen, goddammit, Sean. There's nothing you can do to stop me.
Plenty he can try to do, though.
They have to have an well, maybe they don't have an office in LA. They have to have an office somewhere. It's probably not illegal to transport a toxic mage, right? I can totally do this.
Well, as far as you know, he's sinless. I mean, that makes him a non-person, right?
Which means I can do whatever I want with him and no one will care, right? Ah, god damn it. I should have just been hired muscle. I had to make a complicated character that would have to do complicated things.
Okay, that said, I need to go. I've got stuff to do.
You go do stuff. I don't want to talk to you anymore.
Bye.
User disconnected from your channel.
Here you go. Third chapter of Shadowrun. And I haven't even uploaded any of the second. What have we learned? Besides my air conditioner? Which is mercifully running, because I've been sweating in my room. Pretty bad. Even though it's fucking almost October now. Anyway, I'll learn later from my microphone. What we learned is that rabbits are dangerous. You can't trust them. Actually, I already knew that, but even more so, I feel as if I made good decisions, and I made questionable decisions in this chapter, which is really what you always want in life. You never want to be weakened by too much success. You always want something to strive for, because happiness eats away at a person's soul. We're gonna keep the set of mage cuffs forever and ever. That really turned out rather poorly, not having a means by which we could detain an awakened individual. Didn't think of it at the time. I guess I should have. I guess I thought we were gonna kill him or not attack. Yet we talked about capturing him and making him hostage before we even went to the outpost, right? We should have... it's hard to say. Well, what matters is the what-ifs and the hypotheticals don't matter. You know, the situation is what it is now, and we're going to have to progress moving forward. With my character having sustained some severe damage from overcasting. You know, I think any damage, any physical damage is severe damage. Especially when you've done it to yourself. You cast that shit knowing in mind that you are risking ripping apart your own body. You don't do that lightly. I don't care how strong he is internally. I don't care if he's better than I am as a person. Oh, god damn it. Overall, that went well. The entire group as a whole, I think, made good decisions and questionable decisions. I tried to help to be effective, the team PC, and I think I succeeded on my job. I'm obviously having difficulty with the mind probe because, well, He's a fucking mage. Of course he's gonna have high willpower. It makes sense, right? I'm just lucky that I'm not running into his counterspelling. We can continue to keep him alive. I don't want to, but since we got some information about his family, the best hope for us might be to try to get to him through his family. And even then, maybe they probably won't know anything about the group that he's in and shit like that. He's gonna continue to be our linchpin, our lead, as painful as it is for me. God damn it. If only my opponent had rolled a critical glitch in one of these situations, but no. That would have been nice, right? Son of a bitch. Hopefully I'll have at least Chapter 2 uploaded this upcoming week. Depends on how much of my internet connection I can spare. Maybe this chapter as well. I would like to get some viewer feedback. We're obviously not going to listen to any of your suggestions, but I'm interested in at least reading about the observations and comments and humor that other people have to share. And also about my guest commentator, the air conditioner. He tries very hard to make a difference in life. And with my new microphone here, he only sounds more powerful. It's crazy. But it is very comforting, I assure you, even on September 28th at 10:50 p.m. I don't know why I'm fucking reading that. I'm recording my screen. You guys can read that too. If for whatever reason, for the 14 of you still watching, congratulations, you're winners. I have my glasses off. I'm dead tired. And I used to feel like a winner earlier in this session. Then, after all that overcasting and me having my thoughts controlled for a sliver of a second, if I could take back anything, it would be the go big or go home declaration. I should have just mana bolted his ass. I thought about mana bolting his ass. But I decided, you know, what if? God damn it. Good night.